Now we're joined by Orlando Pride player Ali Krieger. Ali, would you like to get us started and just give us your overall thoughts on tonight's match?
I felt like obviously we were the better side. Unfortunately, it wasn't the outcome that we wanted. We came out with a point, which was good, but it feels like we lost. We lost two, and instead of gaining any. So that was a disappointing end because I felt like we had the better of the play, more possession, more attacking chances. And then it was just kind of a slight, turn off at the end, and that's what wins and loses games. And so I think that we still need to work a little bit more on finishing the games, and because I think the second half we came out and we started really well. So that was really positive, and we had the momentum throughout the entire second half. And we did create a lot of chances. So any one of those chances could have gone in. Obviously Alex had an amazing shot and amazing finish. And then I guess it was a slight turn off at the end there when we all know that those next 5 minutes are the most important to stay focused and to stay in the game. So it's just disappointing in that way. But we're still going to keep working, and the playoffs is still able to be clinched. We just need a few more points here. So we're looking forward to that.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. I'll start with Melissa.
Hey, Ali.
Hi.
Just from your personal perspective, kind of speak to the intensity of the defense tonight from Seattle.
From Seattle or on our team? Like,
how you experienced their defense.
They're very smart, and they're very difficult on our end to defend, which brings a different mentality into this game than any other game that we've had in the past couple weeks. You have to really stay focused, stay on your toes, be on your front foot, be ready to, side on in order to go forward and backwards. And I think they're very intelligent in the movement. That's what makes them very dynamic. And I think that is something that's very difficult to defend. On the other end of things, we were able to, play well in transition. So once we we're in good positions to pick the ball off. I think we did really well in transition, but then now it's in the final third trying to finish our chances there that we create. But defensively, I think they were, able to be broken down, which I think we did well at. And watching video and preparing for this game, that's what we had our focus on. And in transition, I think we did a good job once we got out of that initial pressure when they were high pressing, and then I think the spaces opened up for us.
Michael?
Ali, could you just walk us through the tying goal from what you saw from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, we were really organized in the back. We were very tight in the box. Obviously, players score goals, spaces don't. So you have to make sure that you're tight on players, and especially players running through the midfield. And you can't just let players, run through. So we have to continue to work on that. And obviously, when you're in the box, you have to make sure you're grabbing onto players. And I think that Steph did a great job clearing that ball. And then it's then trying to get some initial pressure on that service to not allow that. But when you don't have that, then, you have to make sure you're marked up in the box. And I think that is something that, we can maybe do a little bit better on. I remember it skimmed the top of my bun. Maybe if I didn't cut my hair, it would have been a little bit bigger bun that could have cleared it. No, but in all seriousness, I think we have to stay focused in that box, grab onto players, not let players run through the midfield, and all kind of do our job and stay focused on that last service, which I think we could have cleared a little bit better than we did. So, and when you don't, players can have opportunities and end up in scoring chances. So,
Austin?
Ali, you touched on it a little bit, but the high pressing from Seattle, forcing the back line to really be quick on their feet and causing a little bit of problems for you. How was that to kind of handle and to force through?
Yeah, it's a lot different because in previous games where we have more time on the ball and we can break pressure a little bit easier, when other teams only have one forward up top or two, but they have three interchanging at all times. And so I think they did a really good job at angling the press as well. So it kept us on one side and it trapped us sometimes making mistakes here and there, or just, hitting it forward and hitting those long balls in order for them to just start from their end. And then we just kind of step up a little bit and try and add pressure, but then they come at us again. So, you have to just be smart. We were trying to just keep it, and if it's not on, then just spin around and keep possession and keep knocking around until the spaces open up, and just be patient on the ball and composed out of the back, and not try and force things. So at times when we were forcing stuff, I think that's when they were, countering on us and doing well in transition, and it was tough because it was just players interchanging, and when they started doing the high press, we couldn't really build out of the back, when Ashlyn then had to start hitting balls forward, and we had to start then building from the middle third instead. So it was tough.
Victor?
Hi, Ali. I just wanted to
Hi.
get your thoughts on the way that the league has kind of scheduled these games. And I know earlier in the season you talked about how you were kind of unhappy with the way the league was scheduling games during the afternoon because of the heat.
Yeah.
Rachel Daly in that situation there.
Yeah.
And now again, I just spoke to Megan Rapinoe. She said that she wasn't happy about the game being scheduled now because she gets the team gets less preparation. For Seattle, at least, because of travel and everything. But just, what have you kind of seen from the league and everything?
It's understandable, but it's not the first time we played a Saturday, Wednesday game. And at times like these, you just kind of have to roll your sleeves up, be professional, and do your job. And at the end of the day, you have to just push everything aside. And it's not our fault that a hurricane's coming. It's not, Orlando didn't call for Hurricane Irma to come in and screw up the schedule. So, we have to deal with it too. The girls had a double day on Tuesday as well as Seattle. And, we all just kind of had to turn around and say, look, we can play Wednesday night. It doesn't matter to us. We're going to roll our sleeves up. We're going to do our job. And sometimes you just have to, prepare that way. When do you want to reschedule it? You want to fly back here, at the last week of the NWSL, games, and have a midweek game from your Saturday game at the end of the NWSL league. I don't know when would be a good time for them to reschedule. So for me, you just kind of have to deal with it. And I think both teams did an excellent job tonight, dealt with it fine. And now we're, having to prepare our homes and apartments and everything for the storm. So, I'm glad that we were able to get the game in, and it's unfortunate circumstances, but sometimes this is the way it is, and you roll your sleeves up and you get the job done.
That the league still has trouble with scheduling certain games. I know certain games aren't being played on the right field sometimes in the heat. Yeah,
absolutely. I think, the 1 year that Seattle and Western New York had to play on the, outfield of the baseball field, I think those days are over. I think the NWSL is making sure that none of that occurs anymore. And, there's new management in the NWSL office, which is making sure that they are, looking at all of the circumstances and putting us in the best situations to be successful on both sides, home and the away team as well. But, under these circumstances, it's tough. Obviously, with a Lifetime coming in now and having the game of the week at 3:30, maybe we can adjust that the next season. But, the heat is a problem. Obviously, these late games are more fun and it's a little bit cooler for everybody. But it's a part of it, and it's the game that we play. It's our profession, and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do and roll your sleeves up and play.
We'll move on to Mike.
Obviously, now you guys go on a little bit of a break before the next two games, the last two games of the season against the top two in the standings. I guess, what's the message going to be now during that break to kind of keep that focus on finishing strong and clinching a playoffs?
Yeah, no matter if we would have won tonight or not, we still would want to win the last two games. Obviously, it's we're on a really good streak right now. We haven't lost in 6 games, and it's two of the best teams in the league. Which hopefully in the playoffs, once we get there, we're gonna have to play one of these teams again. So it's it's great for us. I love playing against great players and the best teams, because that's what makes the game fun, and that's what makes playing at this level fun. You want to play against the best teams and the best players week in and week out, because you can only get better, and you're uncomfortable in those situations, which make you a better player and a better team, because you can then break down your game and your strengths and your weaknesses. But I'm very positive. I'm very excited for the next 2 games. I know we are a very good team. We're a tough team to beat, and we're gonna bring it, and we're gonna want to win, and we build off of each each and every game. And I think we're on such a good streak. We have great momentum right now that we just need those few extra points, and then we can kind of breathe a little bit. But, we're always going to win no matter who the opponent is.
Thank you, Allie.